Hi crafty friends, Debbie, Margie, and Teddy here from SimplySpecialCrafts, stopping by to take a look at the Winter Wishes luxury topper set from Hunkydory Crafts. And yeah, Teddy's just instrumental in our crafting activities, so he had to stop by and give you how you doing also.
And leave.
And leave. I think that's the end of his performance time.
Look at that, you timed it perfect, Teddy.
Okay. Let's start out by taking a look at the first one on our stack here. This one is a couple of them. Let me straighten out my mouse and then I'll get right with the program. Okay, first we have Owl I Want for Christmas. I always love the owl topper sets at Christmas. There's just something about winter scenes and owls that speaks to me. And this has this precious, wonderful little brown spotted owl on it.
I love that it's not as white as last year's. I like the brown.
This is really, really pretty. It's got all these nice little pieces. We've got this nice magical, what does that say, honey? Magical moments?
Wishing you many magical moments this festive season.
Beautiful. Here is, look at that piece of cardstock. Now, every inch of that's usable between the beautiful pine borders and pine cones and the snowy scene. That's just beautiful. And then this one is just kind of all occasion. You can use that for anything. So let's take a look at what we did with these. First up, we have one of our craft style. This one is the Center Step Variety Easel card from our new vendor with Craft Style. I love this because we are able to just make such an elegant looking, complicated looking card, and yet it's so easy to put together. This little packet here I have made as a separate element. This is actually a shaker card, and I put my shaker elements right into there. I made my little shaker packet separately, so I put my snowfall acetate into the outer part of my frame. I put my topper down on the back. I traced around my frame piece to create a back for my packet, and then I put my shaker tape in between and my elements in between. Cut it all out and then just put that whole packet on here. I always like to do that if my topper pieces are going to be overlapping a little bit. I think it just makes for a stronger card. We have that beautiful sage and blue ribbon. It's so pretty with Christmas scenes. That's part of the iridescent woven ribbon collection. And then just put some of I used this for my stopper because I thought that was perfect. I used some of my border and a little bit of the strip from here to cover my bars back here. Brought in this border piece to frame my columns coming up. I just think that's as cute as can be. It looks complicated. It's actually quite simple to do. If you haven't seen how to do this, check out some of our videos on YouTube where we have several samples of doing this kind of card.
And Debbie, I really like, and I don't know if it picks it up on the camera well or not, is that you have cut your border piece based on the shape so that you've made it two-fold off of foam squares.
Yes.
That's really neat.
Right here. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, first one. Next up, I made one of those rocker cards. And again, once again on this one, I've created a shape. I cut that out of cardstock, and then I've built my topper up on that before I mounted it on here, just so that I still had the latitude to be able to break my pieces apart, put my center pieces up on some foam squares, glued this flush, put my outer frame up on some foam squares. And this was a really nice way to be able to use some of those little
All those
topper
extras.
pieces.
You know, I saw something really quick. I just want to go back to it just because someone may not know. It's okay to cut the back side of your card
Sure.
in order to keep that round shape. So if you see on one side it's being hidden by the tag, but on the other you've got a round clip over here. So
as long as
I
you're
noticed
leaving
it
plenty
when
to
it was in my
hold the
space.
card together at the top, there's no reason why you couldn't round that off and just give it a little smoother shape and kind of celebrate that circle a little bit more.
Makes it fit well. Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. The other thing I've done here on this one that I really liked is I took some of these little pine cone pieces from the side here, and that's what I covered. These little indents on the rocker card with. I think that ended up being really cute too.
And then you glittered them up.
And then I glittered them up because it's Christmas after all, and what's Christmas without glitter? Lots of glitter. Tasteful glitter, though. I did it with my quickie glue pen, so none of my lines are particularly heavy. There's just a lot of them. And love that shaker. Now you notice when I turn that around, it really doesn't matter what color you're using to cut those shaker cards in. Once again, we're using that rocker card base from Tattered Lace, and I thought it actually kind of went okay with the blue, so I just chose a light blue piece of adorable scoreable and
And
cut my
this came out of
top
your
out of there.
Christmas Craftaganza stack adorable scoreable colors, because there were lots of different colors that you can use.
I don't recall, to tell you the truth. I believe so, though, because that's what I had sitting here when I was working on it. Okay, next up, I took this corner right here, and I covered a European A6 card with my silver mirror board. I cut this corner out just slightly smaller than the dimensions of my card. Now, one thing I did here that I want to mention, and this turns out kind of fun, is see how I've used a larger snowflake here, and I've just trimmed off the edges. Sometimes we're reluctant to use those bigger snowflakes because we just don't see a place where you can put that whole big snowflake on, but you don't always have to have the entire pattern. Sometimes you just need a piece of it to represent what you want to represent, and I think that turned out pretty.
That's a good trick.
This little Peace on Earth sticker is one of our duty stickers. It's the double embossed, so it's actually on transparent sticker paper, but they've done some beautiful embossed foiling on top of that sticker, so you see the pattern through, but you still have the words, and I think that's always pretty. And then, of course, we've got our tasteful glitter accents again. Another one of our little buttons up on some foam tape. Okay, and finally here, I took this one, and I took this corner up here, and I kind of did the same thing in terms of covering my A6, my European A6 card with some silver mirror board. Before I attached my slightly smaller piece that I've cut out to be my layering piece, I tied a bow and I wrapped the ribbon around my card, and I secured the ribbon in the back of the card so that the inside of my card is still nice and clean and beautiful, but this is strongly secured behind the card. And I just wrapped that across the bottom of this, added some glitter accents, and I just didn't think it needed more than that. I thought it was quite pretty just the way it was. So we got 4 cards out of this set.
This one is called Winter Woolies. It is full of sheep, and I love all the little tags. They had a lot of unique sizes in here, so it was really kind of fun to be able to figure out where you were going to put everything. And
They're so adorable.
they are. And with love and best wishes from the whole flock. That one cracks me up. This is our foiled piece with our beautiful snowflakes up there on top and a whole pack. And then we've got some evergreen as well.
This is really pretty, but you know, I looked at this and I thought, how in the world? So I handed it to Margie.
Okay, I'm the adventurous one that takes a really long time to make anything because of it. So let's just take a look at what we've got here.
These really are some cute toppers, though. Love the sheep. Our little stickies here because our cameraman's tired of chasing us around the table, so he says, put the card here to describe it.
This is a trifold gate card.
It's a 5x5 triple panel card.
Triple panel card.
From Craft Style.
And it's the new company that we've been carrying here recently. And if you look, I've got the whole flock right there on the front. And then as you open, you get a whole snowy scene.
I love the way you did this. I really, really love the way you did this. Note these, this in the snow scene here. These are those dies we had on Britt's Bargain a couple of weeks ago, guys, with the landscapes. And she's mixed those. Those are so cute. Still available. They're no longer at the Britt's Bargain price, but we still have these in the store. We'll link them in the supplies newsletter for you.
So the one thing that you need to know first right offhand is that when you cut your sheep, you're going to have to make sure that you cut them at just the right spot. If not, you won't be able to fit them and still get your foil pieces in here with the snowflakes. So you want to cut them down low enough so that they just fit. And in fact, one of the tricks that we did in order to make that work was to be able to cut the flock low and then use a separate piece and hide it with a border. You can see it on each side.
Idea.
And with the memory boxes, I ran them in glitter paper in 2 different colors, and I ran 2 sets, and I just basically cut those and put the white on top of the green as if it were snowing.
It's so cute. It's just so adorable the way you did it. Everything about this speaks to me. The balance that you got in the hillsides, the Merry Christmas die was just right for that place. I believe this is one of our Find It Trading Yvonne Craft dies.
On the front section, you'll see that there is Miri where there isn't on any of these other pieces, and that is because we did have to break up that panel just to be able to get the flock in pictures. So if you'll see, here's one picture of the flock, here's the other sheep right over here. So in order to be able to make them fit and fit well, we had to do that. So it is a great and it's a fun card, and if you're willing to give it a try, it can be a lot of excitement.
One other thing that Margie just mentioned on my other card, see how she's kind of snipped the corner off of this to fit the contours? It's okay to do that, guys. Sometimes we look at those squares and rectangles and circles that Hunkydory provides us with, and we're reluctant to cut into things, but sometimes in order to fit the card length that you want, it's just the perfect thing to do, and you can see it looks terrific. So, good job on that one, Margie. I thought that was especially inspired. Really good.
Thank you. This one, I used the adorable scoreable that came with the pack if you got the Christmas bundle pack of the Craftaganza, and I used this as my background just because I had used so much of the actual sheep, and I was concerned about getting enough of what I was looking for.
That looks
So
great, though.
this is a huge little sheep picture right here, and so trying to find the right fit, we had to figure out something along the way. So if you've watched our other recent video, you will know that I like packages. So I have a tag over here with a snowflake brad in it, along with some snowflake stickers that are from, where were they from?
They're from the JE brand, that sticker multi-pack with the snowflakes.
Yep.
Same pack, as a matter of fact, that I used to cut that
The owl.
larger snowflake for the owl. So.
Yeah, it's a 5-pack of all different colors, so I don't know if you can see here, but this one is silver with light blue. These are silver, and they're more of a border type piece. And then there's large pieces as well as navy blue snowflakes in that pack.
I seem to be seeing, I'm kind of looking down around at it, but am I seeing acetate? Is that actually a shaker card? It is a shaker card.
It is a
Look what you got inside there.
So, what we did was the typical way to do your shaker card, put your shaker foam down, put your background in the very back, make sure that you use whatever rings that you want to use. The better it is to leave it flat. I should say the flatter that you can make it, the better, so that it doesn't catch on some of these bigger pieces, because these are a bigger confetti shape. I don't know if you saw that or not, but they are little miniature snowflakes.
Oh, that's adorable. Now, is this out of the Jingle Bells set from Nouveau?
I think it's either that or it might be the Let It Snow.
Oh, okay.
And then I also put in little, they're almost a blue fleck diamond confetti in there from Nouveau.
Cute.
And we'll make sure that you have the names for them.
Cool.
This is our next one. Again, bigger card. This one had quite a few big spaces in it. So this is a 6x6. And I wanted to make sure that I used the Feliz Navidad because Feliz Navidad cracked me up. So what I did was actually I took my border from right around here and I put it on my leftover sheet from down here.
Great idea.
And so you actually got more toppers by using the whole thing.
Excellent. Now, is this which one of the iridescent woven is this? This looks like maybe the dark orange
and shade. Sage.
It's dark orange and sage. Isn't it beautiful? Some people were afraid of the dark orange, but it actually is kind of a brownish tone.
It is.
And it's really pretty with that sage color.
It works really well with the color.
Perfect fit for this card. Then you've got a snowfall acetate, or excuse me, a die cut snowflake acetate there. That's what I'm trying to say.
And I think we just got some more of those in too. So
we did. In fact, we just got the new snow pack that has die cut unfoiled cardstock as well as die cut snowflakes. So we have those in a larger pack now.
Some goodies. And then this is the Yvonne Creations die cut. I just took my nice little guy right here and made him into a really simple little A6, but it turned out really sweet.
That's
Again,
cute.
Those little snowflakes off of a Sticker King this time around instead of the UU. And then on that one that has the snowflakes, it also has some Merry Christmases.
Is that off the trees, then?
Yes.
It must be on the trees, because I think that's what has the Merry Christmases.
Yeah.
We'll link all those Sticker Kings, and we're going to actually have a great price on those for you for your Christmas cards.
And then this is the Sage and Brown ribbon in the Iridescent Merry Arts. And I wanted to show you specifically that these are pearlized cards. They come in creams and some light greens, and I think possibly a hue of pink, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of those left, but they're from Anita's. And
they really make
it's an
it look
A6
rich.
Anita's pack.
Yeah. And then here is my last one. It's a little gatefold card. This used these two, and as you can see, I'd already taken this to use it in another spot, so I thought, I can make this fit here, but now I have this extra piece, and that's where the idea for that came from.
Love it.
So what I did was I took my two borders on each side of the evergreens, and I cut them down to the 2.5 on each side. I put my topper on one even layer and glued that to a piece of Adorable Squirrable that I had left over and made it nice and sturdy. This is a Sticker King on the inside and our Easy Peely.
So are you using one of the new A6 gatefold cards here?
This is our new craft style, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And look at this little tiny bow you've tied. That's absolutely adorable.
You will find that I like little bows.
That's really beautiful. Great fun. This is a layering sheet that they put into this topper set called the Friendly Snowman. And so we've got lots of snowman images and partial snowman images to layer up here. Now, when you have one like this, Hunkydory assumes it's going to be one card. Of course it's not. I love this snowman. I think he's adorable. He's really nicely done. And then look at this fun piece they've done here with the bow printed into the cardstock. We'll do some fun things with that. Let's see what we've done here. Okay, I made a where's a ruler?
I buried it.
I think this is 6x6 gatefold, but I want to make sure. Yeah, this is 6x6 gatefold card. I've used my ribbon from the top of this sheet to cover my panels. One thing I did here that I don't always do is that I covered each of those 3-inch panels in silver mirror board first, and then I actually layered each panel on there, so I have a border all the way around on both sides. Here's one of those big stickers from UU, and some of the little sticker elements off that same sheet. Here's the little Merry Christmas off the Sticker King Merry Christmas sheet. And here's my snowman with some of his layers on this side. I used my little tag coming off that bow as if that were an actual bow. I thought that was kind of cute.
It's a really cute idea.
And then it's open for your insert in the center.
I really like how you showcase that snowflake, because some of those really big ones are just beautiful, and to be able to use that to showcase
they really are. And don't be afraid to actually, I didn't do it in this case, but don't be afraid to actually put some, rhinestones and things on those snowflakes. That can be really fun too. But I like the way that turned out. Next up, here's a big DL card using the snowman off the side. I didn't do a lot of extra fancy things to him because I just didn't think he needed it. One thing I did do is that I used it from here, and I brought this border in and bordered the other side because my snowman, while wonderful, was fairly narrow for my card. So I just brought the border over from the other side and gave him a border on both sides. I brought my ribbon across the top. It's actually I'm not sure where I got that. That must have been a leftover piece off another kit. But I used this little border across the top, and then I brought my tag out from underneath as if it were an actual ribbon. Glittered things up, and I just didn't think he needed any more than that. It was just very charming the way it was. So.
Those extra borders, they come in handy.
They do.
And this is what happens when you're working on so many different cards. It's, oh, hey, there's my border.
Yeah, exactly. We try and kind of keep the sets together for you as we're doing this, but we take a little bit more liberty when it comes to the Craftaganza card kits, because you will be saving all those extra border pieces as you're going and all the extra little tags. So grabbing one off one set, using it on another, that's just good work. Okay, on this one, I've used my remaining piece over here to cover my 5x7 card. I have used a few more of my layering pieces on top of this other topper. On top of this topper here, and I basically made two layered cards, and then used all of my layering pieces otherwise. And here's where I've used the actual border they provided me with here. And once again, here is that, I think this is the sage and blue, isn't it?
Yep.
Sage and blue ribbon tied in a triple there for you. And I love the way this turned out. It's simple, but it's just really elegant, especially once you get those fine glitter accents in there again. These snowy scenes, they absolutely want that extra glitter.
Agreed. This is our Christmas post, and it has a little boy and a little girl mailing their Christmas cards to everyone. It's really a sweet scene. And they gave you lots of pictures for it to be in that scene. See, that's how I keep losing the sticker. I try and slide it underneath.
Love this purple.
Yeah.
By the way, with the snowflakes in the corner, that's a gorgeous piece.
You kind of think that it's blue. Sort of, kind of. And then when you put it together with other things, you can see, oh, it moves from this blue to this purple really smoothly. And I love the little letters right through up here on the, and then of course the foiling.
Just
is
beautiful
really pretty.
piece.
So this first little one, he's pretty long. So I thought, kind of have to go with the DL card on that one. I'm sure that there are lots of creative ideas. I think there's a tall stipper tattered lace die that we could have used, but I didn't think about that until just now.
Oh, actually, I like the way you did this one, though. I think it's simple and yet elegant. It's, you know, when you're making a lot of cards, sometimes going with a little bit more simplistic design is a great way to go.
It is. This one is basically taking a little section of this border from the other side because this one got used in another space. I took a little bit of the border, put it about not quite halfway down, and then I just literally foam squared this corner and then attached it with a little bit of glue on the corner here to keep it level. And then a triple blow of the iridescent red, right?
This is the pearlescent red color in the woven iridescent ribbon. That's beautiful.
And it's really pretty. And at first, I will tell you, I was afraid that it was going to look pink. But when you put it behind that red, you can, the blue background, you can really see the red. And you do not see pink at all.
Yeah, that's beautiful together.
This one, I just used this portion of the card. It does not have, as usual, the two layers. You can't break those two apart. They are one single layer. So kind of what I was expecting was to have those double layers. And so you kind of have to get a little bit more imaginative on what you were going to do to make this big picture work and pop out at you. So for this one, and you will see in a minute why it is not covered in some of these other pieces. It's mainly covered in Miri, and I just let the topper shine.
I love the way, though, that you've taken those snowflake borders and run them down the Miri, because we talked before about the fact that this creates kind of an etched look over the Miri when you put a silver sticker on top of a silver mirror board.
It sure does.
I think that's beautiful. And your decorations on the tree are just so sweet, too. Now you can see here where Margie has glittered her tree pretty generously, actually.
That was
done that
glue.
With a glue bottle. Yeah,
sure did.
She's decorated this pretty generously with glue and sprinkled her glitter over that, so you've got a little heavier snow on that tree. And then she went in with some of those red jewel dazzles and decorated the tree. It's just perfect. What are these off of?
I then took these little, they're happy birthday presents off of the black dazzles.
Okay.
And then I just went through and I colored them with a little bit of alcohol marker. Or actually, no, I take that back. I used a glitter sticker for back here on it, and this one I used the alcohol marker.
So where did you get this? Is this the background off of the red jewel dazzle paper then, maybe?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. She's taken just the extra pieces from the back of the jewel dazzle and backed that present. That's a very creative idea.
And then little holly came off of one of the Sticker Kings. I'm not sure which one it is from.
Okay.
But it's little leaves of holly, and I just ran right in there with an alcohol marker and put it right into the spot, and it just looked really beautiful when you did it.
Cute.
And I am a firm believer in being a scrapper crafter. You know, you got to use all those little scraps if you can, and you can find some really cool and neat places to do those with. So
I love all that found material.
This is a 6x6. And then this one is from Craft Style. It is new. In fact, do we have this one listed yet today?
This one, Ashley has these packaging them right now.
Yeah.
So If they're not in the store yet, by the time that you're seeing this, we should be close.
Okay.
If you're looking for them and don't find them, just email me and I'll direct you to where you can find these.
And this is craft style as well, and it's called a petaloo.
Pedal fold.
Pedal fold. I like petaloo. I have no idea where I got that from. With the
That
pedals.
reminds me of little fluffy underwear, by the way.
With the little ruffles.
He's shaking his head at me, guys.
I wore those when I was little. We now call them ruffle butts.
TMI, ladies.
Okay, so anyways, we have I used this entire piece of paper on this one card, and there's a reason why. There's a lot of space to fill, and basically what I did was I really focused on trying to get my opposites in corners that you can see. So if you look at it, it actually has a section here going this direction, and then when you open it up, this is on this section. So when you're cutting them, keep in mind that you're coming at it from this angle almost, and then filling it from there. I hope that's a good trick in order to understand how I did that, because they really did just kind of smoothly move right into this. And then we've got our acetate snowflakes, and right there is our little guy from over here, along with the Yvonne Find It Trading. Merry Christmas again.
Now, what's really unusual about what Margie's done here is she's taken this card blank and used it in an entirely different way. Most of the time when you see these petal cards, these flaps are interlapping and they just kind of self-fold into a card. But Margie's taken this and taken it in an entirely different direction by creating an interactive card with lots of different folds to it. And that's very fun.
And
that's
it
very
fits
fun.
right in an envelope.
It fits right into a 5x7 envelope.
Yep.
Which will be packaged with those cards. This one may look familiar because we had a class kit done around this one. This is the Shining Bright topper set. Love this one. It's kind of done in monochromes with a deep blue and white, and I just totally love this kit. I knew I was going to love it when I saw it. Available for pre-order, and it did not disappoint. It is exactly what I expected it to be. Look at that spectacular Christmas tree just waiting to be decorated. And I love these ice crystals along here. Just a beautiful material to get us started. And again, some of you have made these, so I'll go through them fairly quickly here.
I do want to point out, this isn't the normal Miri board that is the mirror board that they use. It actually has an engraving. It's got a rough edge to it.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
it really makes it sparkle.
Yeah, I love that. It's kind of a brushed finish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, we made another of those craft style cards. This is another one of the, I would call this a center step easel card. I believe they call it like an outer dimension card.
Yeah.
But it's the same principle as the center step. It just has the easel underneath. And they're actually fairly easy to do. Once again, though, because I'm using a larger topper on a smaller base, I'm cutting an extra piece of cardstock and I'm building up my shaker component separately and then adding it to my card. One other thing I want to point out here is that when I covered my card, I covered it so that I could get some of these ice crystals along the bottom here because I just thought that was too beautiful to waste. So I cut that about here and covered my card so that I could capture some of those ice crystals.
They're very striking on the darker background.
Pretty. Okay, next up, this one is using this topper here. We're going to use this on the white background. Once again with the ice crystals, so I'm cutting this piece right here, covering my card. I'm decorating this tree. I used my little quickie glue pen and went in and made lots of little lines so that tree just shines. It's not done real heavy, it's done very, very lightly, but lots of little lines. And then I'm kind of outlining these bare trees to kind of give them an icy sort of feel too. I've used my Merry Christmas off the Sticker King. I've used these trees off the same Sticker King sheet. I liked having this little, it looks kind of like the Eastern Star, and I put it up at the top and put a rhinestone in the center, just because I kind of liked what it said about Christmas there.
Yeah.
So I put that in the center.
Everyone's got to have a star at the top of their tree, right?
Absolutely. And then this one, of course, was probably my favorite piece to work with, because the tree is so big that you can really get into your decorating on this one. I didn't do a lot of extra things other than my glittering, but I did take a 5x7 card. I covered it with my Rainbow Mary, and then my glitter is iridescent too. So this whole card has just a fabulous iridescent shine to it. I put lots and lots of little lines in here with my quickie glue pen, stopping every once in a while to add my glitter so that my glue can't cool up on the shiny finish of the card. Just draw a few lines, shake your glitter, keep going, shake your glitter, and then I've outlined these bare trees to just kind of give it just a wonderful wintertime feel, and I love this card. Little piece of border here at the top, my little button, and it just didn't need more than that. It was just beautiful.
I really do like this set, and I wasn't sure that I was going to, just due to the fact that it was the darker colors, and it just didn't seem so Christmassy, but it did feel wintry to me, and then it just really stood out when you made the glitter. This one is called Robin and Friends. It has little robins, and I saw this, and number one, I really like anything with birds on it. My children and my husband like to joke around saying, put a bird on it, and it's mine. But I also really love the little rubber boot wellies. They are so cute. And so I said, can I do this one? So Debbie was kind enough to let me do this one.
I think she would have taken it and run had I said no.
Well, I do have it at home for my own personal use too. So this one has the little cute picture in the corner along with a snowy background. This one is really simplistic, beautiful, but ever so delicate, and it really let the greens stand out and make a huge difference. And so we will start here with our little one that I had off of this page. So I cut just right straight across, and this is European A6. I glittered it good.
Yeah, you see it's a heavy coat of glitter, but it looks nice.
It is. I went through and I did it with the glue bottle, and I actually did 2 layers on it to try and, number one, encase the glitter, because it is quite a bit of it. But you know, when the snow starts to melt and it kind of has that icy look to it, and that's the perfect time to be wearing your little rain boots out in the snow anyways. So I thought it was perfect for this. These are, again, from UU, that 5-pack of different styles of snowflakes, and these are the light blue ones. I have a feeling that I'm kind of partial to those and those little border ones, I think. And then just a little button with the warmest wishes.
That's very, very, very cute.
This one is this one is a 5x5, 5x5, 6x6. I don't know. The ribbon's
This is one of those 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 cards. They actually are called the 5x5, but they're actually like 5 1/4 by 5 1/4.
No wonder it seemed to trick my eye.
Yeah, they're from Paper Mania. We like those because they're 300 GSM. We do have some true 5x5s that are now coming from Craft Style as well.
They're nice, and they've got a nice feel to them too. They're really smooth. Something that I noticed that is just kind of one of those weird things. If you look at it right through here, you've got the blues, and in here you may not see it right away, but if it's in the shadow just a little bit, their cards are so white they actually kind of have a lightest blue tinge. And so in the shadowing, it literally looks like it matches the inside of this card.
Interesting.
Don't ask me why I noticed, but I did. So this is the middle of this background. I actually made this card after I made another card using the gatefold with the side borders. So what was left here, I used as your full background. I took the middle. Mirror board out of this section, and I took one of our little tags right here, and they're bigger. They're the same size as these, and I could have forced it and gone with a 5x7, but I thought, no, I think that I don't want to have to fit in that box, and I can do something different. And so I moved it right on up and put it right over the bottom of my little frame right here, and it actually looks like it's its own little sticker card almost in shape.
Yeah, that's great. Another thing I'm seeing that you're doing is that dark orange woven iridescent ribbon again with the sage trim, and I see that you've tied yourself a triple, then wrapped your topper before you've put it down to your card base, so that once again your work is hidden between the two layers.
So it goes right in between, so it doesn't unravel or fall out.
And one of the nice things about this is that this ribbon is thin enough that you don't have to use foam squares or anything between your layers, because you're not going to have any real bulk between the layers because the ribbon's thin.
Absolutely. And I did put little tiny bits of glitter in very fine little spaces.
That looks great.
Not tons. It kind of had its own look with the mirror. And again, this is mirror board, but in some of the places it almost looks like it's that burnished again, but it's not. It's just mirror. It just happens to be how they've applied it, I think.
Pretty. Love this one. Look at the snow you've used. That's great.
This is our little shaker card. I used this little one with it, and I used this section of the card.
That's nice.
It may seem odd to turn it to its side and use it like that, but it gave me my border as well as it gave me a spot where I could get the most bang for my buck for all three pieces of paper.
One of the things I like about what you've done here is that we're always talking about the fact that if you have two or more pieces to your frame, you can make a shaker card.
Yep.
And you've illustrated the fact that you could make a shaker card using a fairly small topper. In the greater scheme of things, I like the fact that it's got a circle, and I like the fact that you've kind of fit that in a fun and unusual way on your design. It's beautiful. Love these. That's the snow. That's the cloud.
These are the cloud Nouveau confettis, and I think I put a little bit of the iridescent diamonds in there as well.
Beautiful.
The way you mounted your tag at the bottom, it makes it look like a snow globe too.
Yes,
and
that
fun.
Was intentional.
That's really
so
fun.
Being able to put that on the bottom, because I thought, well, how am I going to make this work? And because some of these tags were really interesting in the fact that, yes, I wanted the rubber boots, but some of the tags had these long, interesting shapes to them, so I wasn't sure exactly what to do. So I kind of had to play around a lot with these. And we used a nice craft paper. This one is a nice thick craft paper. This one is a tonic.
Craft Perfect.
Craft Perfect paper. Yeah, and they're nice and thick. I like these a lot better than some of the thinner ones that are out there.
I think it's the paper accents that's almost the weight of a craft bag. That I wasn't real impressed with that, although I loved the color. So what I did on some of my cards was combine those Craft Perfect ones from Tonic with the lighter weight ones to be able to get the darker and the lighter colors in the craft. And they were inexpensive enough to be able to do that, so that was fun.
Now, I don't know if you were watching the bow class that we made, and Debbie's statement was you can always use the bow as your biggest accent piece. And I was down to pretty much not having much actual background paper, adorable scoreable, left. And so I thought, okay, here's one of those pearlescent green cards. And I really did try to make the focal point the bow. And I took my border and put it on almost like it's a two-tone ribbon.
So she's taking her ribbon, wrapping it, and then putting the border piece on top, which is a beautiful use of the ribbon. I love that.
And what I actually did was I didn't wrap it as you would think that I would wrap it, because there's no 2 layers. But what I did do is that I went and I took my glue and I put it on all the ends.
Okay. Keep it from unraveling.
To keep it from unraveling. So people can still open and close. It's sturdy if you feel it. Mm-hmm. It's not going anywhere.
Right. That's a great idea, Margie.
And so then that way, if you don't have a double layer, you can always use your ribbon like that. And then again, you can also do the ones that you put a hot press on and they keep them from fraying. And I think there's some fray end, or even nail polish will work. Mm-hmm. So that is that one. And then here is our little gatefold. This is a 6x6 gatefold. I took the 2 borders on each side and put them together. And for my little top section right here, what I did was I took some glitter paper and I used that to make my square. And if you remember right, I took the border out of right here.
Okay.
And I made it for this section.
Oh, that's
And
cute.
it gave us a focal point to kind of just basically make another topper piece out of what we had to make it bigger than it really was.
And again, we've talked several times about the fact that when you get these small toppers, you find ways to make them bigger. And that's exactly what you've done here in a very, very effective way. I love that.
And then this is our iridescent green ribbon, and that's also in a triple with a little fish tail.
Beautiful.
And I also made sure to put the glitter on the back, just because this was a different color of paper on the back than the actual card, so it would have really been noticeable, whereas this just kind of looks like it blends from the other side. And you can also do that with your inserts. You can use your insert on the back, use your insert on the inside, and that would look really beautiful.
Absolutely. This has been the first 6 sets out of the Craftaganza 2020 Winter Wishes collection. And we have, if we counted them correctly, 23 cards from the first 6 sets. We'll be back with part 2 shortly. But we wanted to take a break here, just kind of summarize. I'm sure you guys are agreeing that Margie did a beautiful job on her cards here as well. And we will be back with you shortly with the part 2 of this video.